Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a longer term market update for LDO, which has now come up and made a major high right around $3.40, completely taking us up to the highest valuation really on this chart. In my last video, I did describe this as price discovery and a new all-time high. However, looking on some of the other charts, we can actually see LDO going back a little bit further on some other exchanges, was higher back here in the beginning of 2021. But of course, it is still a very key level to pay attention to. And especially with this chart on Binance being the most liquid and having the most volume, I think this is pretty much the level that we do want to be paying attention to. And if I just mark this out here on the chart, again, it's really this range in this zone from $2.90 all the way up to around $3.10, just sort of being the initial point back here where we saw the launch. And even though it wasn't the beginning necessarily of the token launch, it was still pretty significant, especially because in the next following few weeks, around 5 weeks, LDO came back down and retraced about 85%. And that was confirmed later on in August when we retested this as resistance. So we know this is a very key level, and that's basically where we've been consolidating, having a few retests over the last few weeks. You can see that move on the most recent weekly candle, sort of rejecting here in the short term. But overall, this is going to be a very important level to watch out for, especially into the next few months with LDO. And what I specifically want to see at this point, given that we have seen a very significant rally, if I take a measure move here, you can see we're up around 260%. Given that we've made this fairly impressive move, I would like to see some more consolidation, maybe a little bit more reaccumulation before eventually having a second leg up higher. And the reason is because typically the slower the moves up tend to be, they are more sustainable in nature. They don't have these very vertical-like inefficiencies. So when we have a little bit more consolidation, that is generally a more bullish sign, in my opinion, for the longer term trend. So zooming out here into the next few months, what I would like to see here on this weekly chart is generally just a bunch of sideways price action where potentially we're just starting to establish a little bit more support in this region. And if we can get that, that's going to cool off a lot of those momentum indicators like the RSI, where we're no longer going to be looking to that as an exhausted rally. And then from there, maybe if we get a breakout a few months later, then we could have the fuel to have a second aggressive leg up higher where we do see that continuation to the upside. And price discovery mode or not, that would take us up to a high going all the way back over a year now. So in general, that's a very bullish sign, and that would very much lead me to target some of those upside levels in the $4 to $5 range. Once again, if we can get a little bit more consolidation here on this weekly chart. And again, we don't have to necessarily consolidate, but I do think that would be the more bullish longer term path because it would give us a lot more of a base to have in case we do eventually come back down to retest as support. And the reason is we would just have so much price action in this zone, a lot of buyers coming back in this zone, and all of this consolidation would serve as a base of support. And the reason I want to see more consolidation is just because we have had a very quick move, very fast-paced rally beginning all the way back here starting in the beginning of the year. So for the bullish scenario, I am going to be watching out for that breakout. In the bearish situation, which is not my primary view, I don't think this is the most likely scenario just given how very defined this trend to the upside is. But if we start to come back down and we're losing these lows right here in January at around $1.70, that's really when I start to get worried on this longer term trend, because if LDO were to lose that level, there really isn't much support until we get down here to the breakout point, which you can see right around $1.10. And then at that point, you're really just threatening the higher low and you're just threatening the uptrend structure, because once again, you wouldn't really have the momentum to the upside anymore. You would start to break some of these diagonal sloping support levels, and you would in general have the 20 and 10 week moving average starting to slope back downwards, which were all signs that the momentum has started to shift and that we're no longer very much in this dominant uptrend. So just watch out to that in the event that we do have some sort of correction. Say if Bitcoin is coming back down and retesting below $20,000, that's really the situation that you would look to as the risk and where you would start to get nervous on this uptrend. But for me, that is not my most likely scenario, and I don't really want to be focusing on this. Instead, any move, even getting back down to that level, I think would be some sort of region where we might expect a higher low for support, and then we would just look to this as the uptrend with, once again, yet another move very similar to back here in December towards the end of 2022. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content and the analysis. As always, I'll see you in the next one.